Fit for Life Radio, coming in at you on this rainy May day.
I'm about done.
What is it? Is it May?
I thought it was April showers bring May flowers, but it's more like April and May showers
bring June heat.
Make a lot of mud.
Yeah.
I'm about over the rain. It's good napping weather though.
Yeah.
Finish this up, take a little snooze.
Little tin roof drizzle. So we're going to chat with you guys today. We have a fun topic that's come up a few times.
Real fun.
It is going to be on food volume, kind of like the visual, what we see.
The eyeballing of, hey, this is a lot of food. This isn't a lot of food.
Yep. We get a lot of people a lot of times a lot of clients and people who hit us up and they're like, I'm gaining weight or not losing weight when I'm trying to, but I don't eat a lot of food.
What is a lot?
So, if you said that to yourself, you're probably like nodding your head or maybe that's you. So it is a tricky thing, right? Because it can be very true, right? The problem is, what does a lot of food actually mean, right? So when most people say it, it's literally at its most simplistic form what they see as visually, is this a lot of food or not, right? So what can happen is maybe someone has a coffee drink for breakfast, or like they don't really eat breakfast and get a coffee drink when they can, and they kind of like skip lunch, and then maybe they have like 3 tablespoons of peanut butter out the jar, and then they get home for dinner and they like make a little sandwich or have like a peanut butter sandwich and a couple drinks, and then they go to bed, right? And they're like, man, I don't know why I'm gaining weight or not losing weight. I don't even eat a lot of food.
Yeah.
So the thing is, and this is where calories come in, right? And as much as we want to be like, just eyeball things, there is a difference with, some foods are more calorie dense than others. This is something, we talk about a lot, you hear a lot. So obviously the fact that we reinforce it means it's pretty important, right? So first off, and I don't think we'll have to go in on this too much, is obviously most of us know, if you don't, like, certain drinks have calories, right? And it acts just like food in your body, right? So drinking 600 calories is the same as eating it, except it's probably worse because it's just so much easier.
It doesn't fill you up at all.
Exactly.
No one gets full from drinking, 3 Cokes, and that's a lot of calories.
Yeah, but so obviously, if you're someone who just you don't eat a lot of food, but you drink a lot of regular sodas and sugary drinks and things like that, then there you go. So all right, so moving on from that, then we get to really just this difference of different foods and food volume. One thing we'll kind of start with is a lot of times you'll hear, where someone will say, oh, you need to eat more food. My trainer or coach or whatever, I know someone who they got set up on a diet where they ate more food and lost weight. All right, what typically happens with that is, you are used to kind of eating a lot of maybe junky food, which again is super, it's more processed, higher in calories. Then you switch to eating a lot of like, foods that are lower calorie, higher volume. So, tons of fruits and veggies and lean proteins. And so when someone does that, they're eating more food. Like on their plate, there's more food, but the calorie amount is actually less, right? So it's not that they lost weight because they ate more food. They lost weight because they ate less calories, right? And it was just playing with eating foods that are higher in volume, right? So that's really what's going on. So what happens a lot of times is, most foods we gravitate to, the stuff that's easy to grab at the store or the fast food is all pretty somewhat processed, which means it's more calorie dense. So not that you can't make things work with those foods, it's just you have to be more aware.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're eating, making a peanut butter sandwich, remember bread is processed, into flour, which is dense, right? So 1 or 2 slices of bread, it would be equal to a pretty big bowl of a less processed carb like rice, right? So you would look at, if I just, you could eat two slices of bread, whack that back on a sandwich in no time. Whereas if I give you a huge bowl of rice to eat, it's going to take a little bit of time, and you're eventually going to feel more full because it's a bigger volume of food, right? So then something like peanut butter, again, peanut butter is one of the most processed foods there is, in that, think about it, it starts like it's a peanut, 2 little peanuts in a shell, right? So actually, if I gave you a bag of peanuts, you would have to shell them, then you'd only get 2 peanuts, you'd eat those. So it's just a whole different process, as opposed to literally peanut butter, which is the peanut, blend it up, grind it up into, then you can eat it by the spoon.
With some added oil too, to just, cherry on top.
Exactly. And it makes a big difference, right? Like, go get some natural peanut butter
with no added oil,
no added salt.
Oh no!
And then compare it to just the straight up.
Imagine eating that on a sandwich. Imagine how dry that would be.
Yeah, it's like
you need a glass of milk to go with it.
So then now all of a sudden that little peanut butter sandwich, which literally we can throw back in 4 bites and eat pretty quick, and that's all of a sudden. What an average when someone's spreading peanut butter on, they're putting easily
put it on
easily 4 to 6 tablespoons.
Yes.
So you're looking at 600 calories in peanut butter, and then about 100 each for the slice of bread. So that's 800 calories, right? You whack back 2 quick peanut butter sandwiches, boom, that's a whole day's worth of food. That's 1,600 calories,
and you're not full
for most ladies. So you can think, I barely eat any food. I just whack back 2 quick peanut butter sandwiches and had frappuccino in the morning. There's 2,600 calories.
Yeah.
Most people are going to gain weight on that. So, yeah. And then you have, let's talk about, I know, Will, you, maybe a couple of years ago now, 2 years, 1 year?
It was last year, I think. I kind of tightened up and got lean.
So you want to talk about that and kind of and then we'll talk about some other food, like simple,
a couple other examples.
Yeah, simple food changes people can make to where you can lessen your calories, so the amount of food you eat, that the actual visual amounts you're eating stays the same.
Yeah. So I used to eat a good bit of 80-20 ground beef. So a pretty fatty ground beef, and it tastes real good, but I would eat probably a pound a day of that, right? And we'll even simplify to 8 ounces, just because that's a little more relatable for most human beings. And
just so you know, most people, when you eat a burger at a restaurant, it's normally 8 ounces, right? So most servings of meat like that is about 8 ounces. A big chicken breast is about 8 ounces. So
that's what most people are going to eat in a day. Most people don't just put a pound of meat in a bowl and eat it. But so in terms of calories, we'll compare 80-20, and then I switched to 93-7, which is a lot leaner. But 8 ounces of 80-20 is the same amount of food as 8 ounces of 93-7. So if we're talking 8 ounces, 80-20 is 580 calories. All right. Then we go down to 93-7, which is only 340. So that's 240 calories alone, which is enough to, overeat. And then if you talk about me, double it, that's 480 calories extra a day from only one food source, and it's still the same amount of food, either way. So,
explain the difference as well, why 80-20 versus 93-7, kind of what that means and why that makes a difference.
So I mean, the 80-20, it's just, there's a lot more fat in there than there is the 93-7. So, and we'll look at it in a simple way. The 80 is basically the amount of, we'll say, lean meat, and then the 20 is the added fat, or however you want to think about it. So basically the protein to fat ratio is not as favorable with the 80-20, and then with the leaner meat, the 93-7, there's a lot more protein than there is fat. So that's really what it boils down to.
And it's understanding like what you're losing there is flavor too, right?
Yeah, that's all it
fat
is.
Is like the flavor and the juiciness. So that's why lean meat is like drier, right? But as far as like what you're looking at in your burger or bowl, it's going to be a similar amount of food, right?
Oh yeah, it absolutely will. But and you know what? I've actually found, going to a leaner meat, when you cook it down, there's actually still more left.
Yeah.
After you cook that fat down. So really, you actually have a bit more protein than you did with the fattier stuff. And really, at the end of the day, it's not like it tastes that much different when you make a switch like that. Yeah, it's a little different, but you eat that often enough, and it just becomes normal, and it tastes good, and you enjoy it.
Yeah. So in that one switch, you had
that's 500 calories.
That's 500 calories for most people. That's the difference of losing or not.
Yep.
Or gaining weight or maintaining weight.
Exactly.
Right? So literally that one change.
And that's one single change out. And there's probably a couple people could make. Not that you have to do it all at once, but do you want to go into the next one?
Yeah. Another one with that too, a common one is we see a lot of people eat a lot of like the chicken sausages and stuff. And that stuff, man, that stuff's not lean at all, right? So it's super calorie dense to get enough.
I mean, you're talking almost like the fat and protein, and some of them are kind of going on
80-20.
Oh, yeah, those are rough.
So switching from a chicken sausage to like a chicken thigh, which is going to be a little leaner, or then even more lean would be like a chicken breast. Is going to save a lot of calories, right, and be the same amount of food. So it's little things like that you can make changes on.
If you know me, I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out.
And another is, so we have a couple other common ones. The salad eaters won't like this.
Ooh.
So
this is my favorite thing.
Yeah. So salad dressing, right? Half a cup of. So you have your salad, your lettuce, and your veggies, and maybe some lean protein, and then, obviously those are some calories. But then what we put on it with the dressing it makes a big difference, right? So half a cup, which is only 6 tablespoons, so.
Which is a lot easier to squeeze out than I think most everybody think.
So it's probably a conservative amount that people use is 560 calories, right? So if you literally switch to just vinegar or, making kind of your own dressing, like vinegar and lime juice together, or a little like mustard vinaigrette, so you can like whisk together mustard and vinegar and some spices, that's going to be 0 calories, right? So literally the difference, 560 calories from going from a ranch dressing to a no-calorie dressing. Yep. And, I mean, that's huge. That's, especially if that's something you do every day. that's the difference right there. And again, it's the same amount of food. The ranch is just wetness that you're adding to the food, and again, flavor.
No one's filling up on ranch.
So,
and if you are, you have a problem, and we might need to talk a little bit. But
yep. But that's another, again, perfect example of, I don't eat a lot of food. I
eat salad.
I eat salads every day. That's all I eat, right?
Well, what's on the salad? That's the question.
Exactly. So, that's a sneaky, tricky one too, common scenario. Then another one is we'll
go fast food.
We'll go fast food. So let's go to Wendy's. All right, and you get that large fry, right? So now we're not saying, obviously most people then would be like, a large fry is a lot of food. So we want to use this more for the calorie difference of, remember, fries are potatoes that are, hence the name, fried in oil, right? But we see the potato part, we don't see the oil part.
We forget the oil part. You're like, oh, I'm eating some potatoes.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
But then just so you can kind of know, if you just got the plain baked potato, so yeah, you plop that big potato down on your plate. Most people feel guilty about it, but it's only 270 calories, right? Compared to the 500 calories of the fries. And then if you even get the little pat of butter with it, 320 calories. So 50 extra calories for a little teeny bit of flavor. But as you can see, that's a pretty even trade-off to make. Like 500 calories, instead of getting the fries that are 500 calories, you get a potato with a little pat of butter. You still get to eat a decent amount of food, but you're saving yourself, about 380 calories. Mm-hmm. So again, and I know we run all these calorie numbers and we say that. Don't get overwhelmed and think you have to count every calorie all the time. It's good to count and learn, especially in the beginning, but really you're just learning these things so that then you can make normal people decisions better, right? Yeah. Yep. I'll have a potato instead of fries. And you're saving yourself calories. You're going to help towards your goal, right? I'll eat a dressing, but have a, calorie-free dressing. I'll eat a dressing. I'll eat a salad. Yeah.
just get some dressing, taking shots.
That's what most people do, right? They eat a dressing with a little salad,
a little lettuce sprinkled on top. Just imagine like a dressing cap, and then there's like one little lettuce that they bring for garnish on top.
Would you like some lettuce with that? So.
Oh man!
But yeah, you see where we're going with this. So ultimately, don't go by thinking whether you eat a lot of food or not, right?
Yep.
So because in general, actually, if you're eating, a good diet to lose weight and feel full and be somewhat satisfied, it's actually going to be a lot of food, right? Mm-hmm. So like. What we recommend, what most everyone recommends, eat lean proteins with lots of veggies and some fruit and some clean starch, right? Well, guess what? That could literally look like 3 meals a day where you're having 8 ounces of meat with 2 or 3 cups of veggies and a little half a cup of starch or a piece of fruit, right? So
and that's a full plate.
Throw that
for
out
every meal,
and you're going to be. I know for a fact we have a lot of clients who are overwhelmed and they're like. They almost feel guilty, like, this is going to be bad if
I'm eating too much.
Yeah, I'm eating too much food, right? So it's like the opposite. So I'm eating too much food when in actuality, like, no, you're not. So go ahead and try to eat it. Eat what you can if you're full, stop. But, like, that's great. Like, that means you got full eating, less calories.
Yep.
That's the point.
That's
right?
the goal.
So that's why most people start off like, hey, eat whole foods, right? But again... it's all balance and trade-offs. That doesn't mean don't have peanut butter or don't have, a bowl of ice cream. It's just understanding those trade-offs, working them in, finding that balance, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's all it is.
So, look at your situation, perfect example. So, yeah, like you were able to cut 400 or 500 calories by switching your ground beef to a leaner amount. But it's also important to remember, hey, that was sustainable because here you are over a year later.
I still eat it.
Still eating the 93.
And it's fine. And I love it. I actually think I like it more than 80-20. But
yeah. So
yeah,
and that's what people find. You'll find it, so it might have a more meatier or just
a beefier flavor.
And texture. So you'll start to notice those things. it's just sticking with it long enough to give things a chance, right?
Yes.
So, or you'll find that you like eating the bigger volumes of food, and
Yeah, you like being more satisfied and not quite as hungry. And
there's a thing in our stomach called like a stretch reflux. So, it does send a signal to our brain when our stomach kind of starts to get that full stretchy feeling. So that's where veggies can be really good, because you can eat a lot of them. They're lower in calories or almost non-existent, and you can, fill up, so to speak.
Yep.
And again, like, that doesn't mean just eat veggies.
You still need other things.
Other stuff, but that's where eating some veggies is normally recommended, and that's why a lot of people have great success with it.
Yeah. If you take anything from this episode, it's that you shouldn't put 8 tablespoons of peanut butter on your sandwiches.
Or 8 tablespoons of salad dressing. Or what did we say? Or have 8 tablespoons of salad dressing
with a little
lettuce.
A little sprinkle of green on top.
So, and it's not, obviously, like, so these are fattier foods. So fat is more dense in calories, right? 1 gram is 9 calories of fat. 1 gram of carbohydrate and protein is 4 calories, right? So it's more than double. But at the same time, you still need some,
Yep.
So you can get it from a little bit of meat, or add, a tiny, instead of having just a globs of ranch dressing, add a little tablespoon of olive oil to your salad. But again, it's smart to, portion it and be aware, because if you just pour it on, same thing, you're just getting more calories. We only need but so much fat for the actual hormonal functioning and benefits we get from it. Anything more than what we need at a minimum is just extra calories.
Really, it's just wasted food volume. You could be eating something else.
Yeah.
At least that's the way I look at it.
Yeah. So that's the great part about tracking and being aware, is you can know these things and then decide the trade-offs you want to make, right? So you could say, hey, I just realized I cooked my dinner with 3 tablespoons of coconut oil, and that's 500 calories, but really I could just not use the coconut oil, maybe bake whatever it is, or just use a teaspoon. That frees me up for 450 calories.
You could have a bowl of ice cream.
That you could have, you could have a whole Halo Top, or you could have half a cup of ice cream, or you could have 3 more cups of rice.
Yep.
Right? So I know for me personally, that's where people sometimes don't even believe, like, you eat 6 cups of rice a day, and like that's how does that even work? That I can't do that. You're just lucky. Well, no, I eat a lower fat diet, which frees up a lot of extra calories to where I can have that much, right? And I enjoy it because it's a lot of food to eat, and I like the volume, right? Not saying that's perfect or the best approach, or it's just what works for me, what I prefer, and that's what you need to find out, is what you prefer. So
yeah.
So be more aware. Don't go by, hey, this feels like a lot of food, or looks like a lot of food, or not a lot of food, because a lot of times, and more often than not, even eating quote unquote not a lot of food, you're still eating more than you need.
Yep.
So start digging in.
Yeah, just bring a little awareness to what you eat in a day. Maybe plug it into MyFitnessPal or something like that.
All right. So hopefully that helps you. Hopefully, if you're listening, you're not just snacking away. You're currently
someone just crushing a whole jar of peanut butter,
and then you just feel really sad.
If you are, then maybe just put the spoon down right now and go put it away.
So, all right, guys and girls, we will be cutting out here from the Mecca.
Yep.
The hub that is Coastal Strength and Fitness. So keep hitting us up. We love, a lot of people have been telling us they're glad the podcast is back in the routine, in the mix. So keep giving us feedback, and we'll keep trying to bring stuff that we think is helpful.
Yeah. If you have any questions, ask any medium, either of us on Instagram or the Coastal Facebook, or really anything. Leave a suggestion here at the gym. I don't care. And we'll try to address it if we can.
All right.
Later. As always, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to learn more, check us out at coastalfitnessva.com or garydeagle.com. We'll see you next time.